If you can handle the mindset and the emotions and the triggers and the traumas, then naturally your body is going to get healthier because you feel better about yourself and you automatically make better choices. The body is actually the end result. The change happens inside first.
Hey there, this is Patrice Washington from patricewashington.com, where we chase purpose, not money. Welcome back to another episode of Redefining Wealth. If you are brand new here, here's what you need to know. We are a community of purpose chasers, and we believe in the original 12th century definition of wealth, which says it's all about the condition of well-being. It's not so much about just money and material possessions as the world would have you believe. And so each and every week, we seek to unpack what that really looks like by using our 6 pillars of wealth. If you want to know more about those, head to patricewashington.com/start here. patricewashington.com/start here. You get access to a free audio training that breaks down the 6 pillars of wealth, and it even has a mini assessment so that you can figure out what pillar you need to start with in order to start to improve your finances from the inside out. Before we jump into this week's episode, it's brought to you by Created for Purpose. It's my free 5-day challenge that is all about helping you get unstuck around how your gift and the marketplace are supposed to come together purposefully. If you know anything about me, you know that my career was built in a time like this, and I fumbled my way through this online game so you wouldn't have to. So instead of YouTubing and Googling and piecemealing all the things together, I'm going to teach you in that 5-day live challenge how to prevail online and thrive even in turbulent times. To sign up, head to patricewashington.com/challenge. Again, that's patricewashington.com/challenge. We begin on December 7th, and I want you to be there because I believe you were created for purpose, with purpose, on purpose. So let's do this. So a little birdie told me that November 19th was National Entrepreneurship Day in the US. And if you remember, if you've been rocking with me as a purpose chaser, OG listener, several months ago for National Entrepreneurship Week, we actually highlighted 5 incredible women from my Purpose to Platform community. Because here's what you need to know. That 5th pillar, that work pillar, is all about living your life's purpose. And one of the things that I really want to do is truly help people earn more without feeling like they have to chase. And that means getting clarity around what you were called to do. And so I heard that there was a day and I was like, why stop at a day? Let's go for another week, another round of highlighting women from our recent cohort of Purpose to Platform. Super excited to share all about Evelyn LeVasseur with you today. Going to be an amazing, amazing episode. So I hope you're excited about these bonus episodes this week. You normally don't hear from me on a Monday, but it's for good reason. So without further ado, let's dive in. Evelyn is the owner of Evelyn LeVasseur Fitness, a company that focuses on helping busy, overwhelmed moms reach their body goals without dieting or deprivation. Evelyn knows that moms can be especially hard on themselves and expect perfection in our homes, jobs, marriages, and of course, our bodies. She wants every woman to know that she can want to change her body and love it at the same time. That'll preach, Evelyn. Most importantly, Evelyn knows that moms want what's absolutely best for their children, and having negative feelings about ourselves can lead our children to have negative feelings about themselves. So Evelyn is sure to approach all things from the angle of knowing that our actions shape our children and the legacies of health we will leave them. Evelyn is a certified group and personal trainer, a hormonal fat loss coach, and has a BA in psychology with a master's in education. Without further ado, here is Evelyn LeVasseur. Welcome to the Redefining Wealth podcast, Evelyn.
Thank you for having me.
Girl, I'm excited to have you.
Me too. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so let me start with, how did you first discover either Redefining Wealth or Patrice Washington? Who did you discover first, the podcast or me?
So I actually fell in love with Patrice Washington when I heard her on a podcast with Lisa Bilio last year. And from that podcast, I went on and followed Redefining Wealth. And, I was trying to build my own business and somehow stumbled upon a power hour, and the rest is history.
Oh my gosh. I love Lisa Billieu, Women of Impact. They have brought so many amazing women into this community. And sometimes I forget who's who, like where folks came from. So I always ask, it's good to remember. Shout out to Lisa. So Lisa Billieu brought us together. Okay. And you were building the business. So tell us about what you've been up to for the last several years, really. And what made you say, I need some support?
Okay. Well, I was a teacher. I was a sixth grade English teacher for 11 years, and I was part-time personal training and nutrition coaching. And I got to the point where I was just burnt and exhausted and, forcing myself to go to work. And that's when I started talking to my husband a little bit about I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be. I have this fire under me when I start talking about nutrition and things. So we budgeted for a while and I quit my job and started full time. And over the years, I did a lot of nutrition coaching and personal training. But then I got stuck. I was trying to grow my business, had a beautiful website, a consistent blog, but I was just stagnant. And I thought I needed some marketing help and realized I needed way more than that. Way more.
I think when most people come into Purpose to Platform, they think, oh, I just need some marketing tips or, I just need a few things. So I know we had a power hour first. Yes. So first of all, I don't do power hours anymore. I only do them for folks who have come through Purpose to Platform if they need additional help. So you were like one of my last power hours, actually. Okay. Yeah. But
so it was just on time. It was right on time. Yeah.
It was right on time. So we went through the power hour and we flushed some things out, but you still felt like there was something missing, right? For you to go on and do Purpose to Platform. What were you looking for at that point?
At that point, I still felt like marketing was kind of an issue, but I also felt like I was very unclear because in my mind, nutrition and fitness had been my go-to, but I was realizing in that one conversation we had that was a Band-Aid for my clients. We were not addressing what they were really struggling with. We were fixing this exterior and never the interior, which is why they rebounded. And, so I needed help. I needed clarity. I needed help with my messaging and not just clarity for my messaging, but clarity in my own mind, because I just thought, that the food and the exercise was the answer. And I didn't realize that has to come last after you handle what's happening in your mind and in your heart.
I know. And I remember we kept saying so it's mindset and meals. And you were like, it is. Right?
I think. Maybe.
And so I think that was a really important piece though, because sometimes it's hard to just embrace that you can talk about something that's not as tangible. When you're creating transformation for people, not everything, right? It's not the dollars in the bank and it may not be the numbers on the scale, but when you start to shift how people think through their challenges or any limiting beliefs and just how they set boundaries, how they deal with relationships.
Yes.
That's a powerful transformation that can't always be put into words easily. And I think when you're launching a program or coaching people, sometimes that's the disconnect is that, you can create additional results, but how do you explain that?
Yes. Yes. And it's very difficult to get your message out to let people know that if you can handle the mindset and the emotions and the triggers and the traumas, then naturally your body is going to get healthier because you feel better about yourself and you automatically make better choices. You're more connected. You're not living in scarcity and distraction. You're feeling in tune with yourself. So the body is actually the end result. The change happens inside first.
That is so true. The change
So
happens
true.
inside first.
Mm-hmm.
So you went through a lot of changes in purpose to platform.
I did.
Evelyn's my girl that would come to our content immersion calls with wine every once in a while.
Yes. I still do. I just don't always put it on camera. But yeah.
She's like, okay, here we go. Here we go. It's happening.
Yes.
Right. So there was a lot of stretching for you. What do you feel like was one of the bigger stretches you had to make in your own belief system?
Well, I realized that I was showing up in my world very confidently, but really full of doubt and not ever calling myself on that. And I realized also in this time that I always equated vulnerability with weakness. So I never let myself feel the things I needed to feel in order to heal the pain that I was in. And also, I had been questioning my faith for a long time because I was raised in a church that taught, love of our religion, love of our church over our relationship with God. So, oh man, I was all confused upstairs. So it was shocking to me that a couple of times on our calls, connecting with people's stories, I sobbed, and I rarely cry in my life. And to feel that was eye-opening to me, but it opened up so many doors for me in my communication with my husband and my communication with my children, and just allowing myself to feel what I feel without any guilt or shame attached to it. That was huge.
Oh, wow. I know we're known for a good cry fest on a on a P2P call.
Sometimes multiple times in a call.
Right. You catch us on the right day. But that's what I love about safe spaces.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I love about, and people might get tired of hearing me talk about it. I don't care. Like having a safe space to allow yourself to explore, and just tap into what those things are, what those feelings are. It's all connected. And that same ability to get vulnerable is what transitions into the connection you make with your clients, with prospective clients. Like we think that we're so open, but we don't realize that sometimes we're coming off as guarded. Yep. And we have a wall up, and it's the thing that makes us stick to the surface conversation. Yep. Because if we get vulnerable, then we may have to tell some of our own story.
Exactly. And then you fear that, am I going to be judged? Am I going to be ridiculed? But I don't know, when you get to that point where you feel comfortable and you are okay with your story, that judgment can't hurt you because you made peace with it.
Yes. That's it. So true. That's why I believe in telling your own story. When I tell my story, I take the power away from any fear of, rejection, abandonment, judgment, anything that someone else can say. Well, I said it first. So, and I'm using it in a way that empowers me. It doesn't take away. It doesn't make me a victim. It doesn't make me wrong or right. It just is what it is because it's my story.
Yes.
That is what it is, right? One of the things that you said in your testimonial that you had sent over just touched my heart was that you weren't prepared for the amount of growth, not only in business, but in your heart and mind. And you talked about uncovering limiting beliefs that were paralyzing you and restricting you from progress. So you became a bit more vulnerable and just open, right, to receiving. What is a limiting belief that you had around just your ability to make your offer, like really serve the women, the mothers that you were being called to serve?
I had a few. I mean, I was worried that my certifications weren't enough. I was worried that people wouldn't take me seriously in, the realm of health and nutrition because I am not like the model physique. Like you shouldn't be teaching people about body if your body is not perfect type of idea. And also I was kind of just worried. I don't think that I knew my value. I worried so much about being called on not having every scientific database behind me, or, just questioning myself. And I feel like literally now I'm at the point where I'm like, listen, I am comfortable with my seat at the table, regardless of who's sitting at it. Like I am here and I'm doing this thing. Like, you need to hear what I have to say. Not anymore. Do you want to listen? No, listen, we're doing this. Yeah.
Come on, Evelyn.
We're there.
I'm throwing my hands up, you guys. I am so I remember going back and forth with you on maybe a Q&A call or one of these calls about the certification piece.
Yes.
And we were like, Evelyn, you are already certified. I know, but it's not the certification that we don't know. You are certified and you already serve people and you already help people get results. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible how imposter syndrome will force us or put us in a place to where we'd rather abandon purpose than just move through the imposter syndrome.
Yes. And I do feel like I was dabbling in what I wanted to do, but I was totally holding myself and hiding back almost with all these fears that were looming over me. And if I wanted to move forward and, work on the program that I wanted to, or revamp my coaching, I talked myself out of it every time without realizing that's what I was doing to myself.
But that's what happens too when you're by yourself. So a lot of times when you don't have community, we talk about this and I'm not above it. If I don't get in community and talk to people or hash things out with someone, even if it's folks on the team or whoever, I will talk myself into a great idea and talk myself out of it. And this is why we believe so much in community. Mm-hmm. So what has that part been like too for you, the community?
The community has blown my mind. I mean, I, again, thought I was coming in for some marketing help, but let me tell you, the community, there's never been a moment where I felt judged or uncomfortable or disconnected or on the outside. These ladies, my sisters, they want to see me win. They do. There is no sense of competition. You make a post, they're jumping on it, they're sharing it, you're in their stories. I get DMs asking about my kids, not my program, my kids. I feel closer to some of the women in this group than people I've known since high school. It's amazing to me and a testament to you to say you're able to choose people who want so much for themselves and so much for each other. I mean, Patrice, we Zoom call each other to help each other out when we don't have calls with you. We want to see each other win. And the support is insane. Testing each other's programs, editing things, teaching each other about the tech, anything that we need, somebody is telling you, I got you. Let's make some time to get together. I did not expect this at all.
I love it.
Yeah.
I almost want to cry. I love watching that. Mm-hmm. I say this all the time. It's the community I wish I had when I was getting started. And even when I was going to pivot and do my next thing, I relied on one friend, right? And what she didn't know was well, I guess we got to go buy another course or I just never really had that surrounding of community. And what I love too is I love to just see how you lean on one another and ask for support, because it's one thing for people to be willing to give it, but it's another thing to finally allow yourself to receive.
Yes.
And that's what I love seeing. And I saw the other day, Dion challenged you on something about Instagram. You were like, well, I don't know much, but what I do know, and Dion was like, well, you know.
Yeah. She's like, Patrice says, if you're a 7 and I'm a 2, then you can help me. That's it. That's it. So we actually were on a call for about an hour and a half last night working on Instagram.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So tell us about some of your biggest results externally since being in P2P.
Oh my gosh. You're not ready. You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. By week 10, not only had I doubled my followers on both my platforms. I had a clear message, and I let go of my limiting beliefs. And then I finished building out, beta testing, revamping, and then preparing to launch my program and my coaching. I also have 2 different types of t-shirts that I'm having printed, a mother and daughter journal, and I've started outlining a book.
I didn't know you started outlining a book.
Yes, something came to me where I decided that not only is my journey in fitness and health for moms, but I really feel called to work on parenting. When you think about us as women, from when we were little girls, and this is where I feel like nutrition and fitness fall into such a role here, but we were always taught, like, don't be too loud, you'll be seen as obnoxious. Don't be too forward, you'll be seen as arrogant. Don't be too opinionated because then you're abrasive. And don't be strong because then you're too masculine, or, the B word. So the message that we've gotten from when we were little is that smaller is better. And that means smaller in your spirit, smaller in your personality, and smaller in your body. What are we teaching our children if we are constantly having them shut themselves down and try to shrink? We have to put that away. We have to put that behind us, because we can't raise strong women if we're teaching them from when they're little that they have to shrink themselves. They'll just grow up questioning everything that comes out of their own mouths.
Evelyn, that is so good. That is so good. And I'm just sitting here watching you, like, with your cute haircut, girl, like watching you with this confidence. Who are you?
I am a product of P2P. I tell you, 6 months ago, I was completely lost and battling my own demons and trying to help people half-heartedly. Truly, I was only half in because I wasn't where I needed to be either. And I'm, of course, I still have to grow. Everyone still has growth, but I don't even recognize that mindset that I had just a short time ago.
You're definitely a different woman than the woman I had the power hour with.
Yes.
Yeah. I have like goosebumps. You are a different person.
And my husband kept saying, there's something different about you. There's just something different. And I'm like, I know. I know.
I love it. And I love, that it's something you get to share with your daughters. Mm-hmm. Because this mindset, like dealing with the limiting beliefs and really tapping into the vulnerability and all those things, like we get to show our daughters so much earlier in the journey, what many of us did not learn until we were in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Yep.
But we can finally be an example of that because we're really trying to parent more consciously, right? Yes. Not that we're doing it perfectly, but trying to parent more consciously. Mm-hmm. What do you think the takeaway for your girls will be watching you transform as a mom and a business owner?
I feel like they are already showing up as themselves unapologetically. My 11-year-old in the past, I would say, has been very self-conscious. She's getting to that point where, she's almost a preteen and she notices that other people notice things. But she's letting go of some self-consciousness. She's letting go of like some of those beliefs that she had. And for instance, she started a YouTube channel just for slime and things like that. And she was like, I don't want to post. I'm so nervous. And she's like, what would Patrice say, Mommy? First of all, I love that you know that. And I said, Patrice would tell you to just post it because nobody's an expert their first time. So she posted 3 videos last week and she says, are you going to mention this to Patrice on your call? Yes, maybe. Yes, maybe I will. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. They're they're just comfortable with who they are. Where, she's very reserved. I say all the time, she's really 75 years old in an 11-year-old's body. She's just an old soul. My little one is all energy, but totally comfortable with who she is. And I feel like we gave them that. They're just comfortable with who they are. No apologies necessary.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So if you knew a woman who was thinking about pivoting in her career or getting unstuck in her business somehow, especially her online business in particular, what advice would you give her, not just about P2P, but just in general about what she could do to finally move forward?
So I would say, first and foremost, don't try to do it all on your own, because, you can kind of find yourself spinning in circles trying to figure things out when really the answers are in front of you. You're just not looking at them. And sometimes a little guidance gets you right there. And, try to flush out some of the beliefs you have about yourself, because a lot of the times you're holding yourself back. And the other thing is don't let fear guide your decision making, because you can fail and still get up. Like, you will be okay. Do it. Go for it. If it doesn't work out, guess what? It was a learning experience, and now you're more prepared for the next time.
Absolutely. I love it. All right, Evelyn, before I let you go, I have to ask you some redefining wealth rapid wisdom questions.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
How do you define success?
Waking up every day and feeling loved and in love with the people I'm near.
Yes. How do you define wealth in 3 words or less?
Anything I want.
Ooh. All right, Eve. That's good. That was good. Okay. That was so good, I'm thrown off. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. What's one book that has redefined how you see wealth?
Recently I read Glennon Doyle's Untamed, and it opened my eyes to so much about parenting and how you see yourself and how you build your own wealth in your life.
Oh, love it. Love it. Okay. This is the last one. You're going to fill in the blank. My name is, and to me, the truth about wealth is.
My name is Evelyn LeVasseur, and the truth about wealth is it's available to anyone at any time.
Amen. Amen. Evelyn, yay! I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I feel like I've witnessed like a complete makeover. Not only are you definitely more confident, like you can just see it, feel it, but your hairdo is popping. It's a lot going on here. It's just incredible to watch. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. I am eternally grateful. I literally came in for help with my business, and my whole world changed. My whole world changed. If I got nothing accomplished with my business in this time, I still feel like a different person inside. 100%.
Oh, you did that. It. We did that.
Yes.
We all did that. What an amazing community. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for saying yes.
Yes. I'm so glad that I did. I was so afraid to make the investment in myself, and it has been the best decision I made. Truly. Yeah.
Thank you, Evelyn. Okay, so we were actually logging off and just talking amongst ourselves after Evelyn's interview, and this conversation came up, and I just feel like it's so important to have. And it's one thing to be able to do it privately, but I know that right now someone is listening to this podcast. You've been following, you've been thinking about whether this program could be for you. And Evelyn, you said something that just really touched me, and I need other people to hear it, because I need them to understand that P2P is a safe space and a sacred space for women who are purpose-driven to build their platforms and to really use their God-given gifts, like unapologetically. Not Black women, not Hispanic women, not just Native American women, like for women. What did you feel coming into a group that you knew would be predominantly Black?
So I was very hesitant and I was a little bit reserved because of the experience that I had. I was introduced to someone who was running a mastermind for women of color. And when I met her, the conversation immediately felt uncomfortable. Almost the air felt thick, icy is the way I can describe it. And several days later, she contacted me to let me know that I wasn't a good fit because she couldn't see me as a sister because I wasn't Black, and her group was for sisters. So even though I was following you for a long time, when I joined this program, in the back of my mind, I was worried that I wasn't going to be accepted because of that. And I realized within our first conversation with our group that looking into the sea of faces in the screen, that there are representatives from all races, backgrounds, countries around the world, and every single one of us sees each other as an equal. So that feeling was immediately terminated.
Yeah. And the fact that I think what's really interesting is that God brought it full circle for you. So you had that experience where someone said, well, I don't see you as a sister because you're not Black. Mm-hmm. And then you came into P2P and I was like, y'all are sisters, everybody here. Immediately. Yes. From the welcome orientation, yes, we make it very clear that this is a sisterhood. These women will be your friends and be your support system for the rest of your life if you want it to be.
Yes.
Right.
And I
because
feel like
the ground is set for that.
Yeah. And I feel like everyone takes that statement to heart because they really do, first of all, refer to you when you post. It's like, hey, sis. And then the conversation continues and they really do just show up like family. They just show up like family.
Yeah, it was so special to me that you just said that because I don't think I've shared this publicly. Several months ago, there was a woman who reached out to me and wanted to be a part of Purpose the Platform, but she wasn't Black. She was an Asian woman. And she said, I just don't know if you realize that I'm not Black. And I'm like, well, what does that have to do with anything? And I wonder now if the hesitation came from a backstory for her too, maybe wanting to be a part of some place and feeling like she would be an outcast or not accepted for some reason. And we've also heard that from women who joined the program from other countries. Like, some of our girls are on the phone with us. It's 3 a.m. for them, 2 a.m. Yes. Take a nap and power up, ready for the calls, but how would it be even culturally? We have women in Purpose the Platform from Africa, and so just because everyone's brown doesn't mean we have the exact same beliefs or the exact same background.
Right.
And so I think the most beautiful thing, as you said, is to log into the weekly Q&As and see the sea of faces and know how many countries. I want to say in this last kind of group, between kind of the way we ran it, the two groups, we probably had about 14 countries represented.
Wow.
And, women just from all over with such diverse backgrounds. But to know that by the time you get to not even the end of the 20 weeks, I would say 2-3 weeks in, you're like, okay, these are my people.
Yep.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that backstory with me. I think it was just important for someone else to hear, because I think it's become the norm that women of color can go drop into an all-white program, and we're used to just being the sprinkle and it's supposed to be okay. But then when it's the reverse, sometimes people are just apprehensive, and about whether they will fit in. And I'm so glad that you felt comfortable from day one.
Yes.
And just thank you.
Yeah. And, I feel it's so important too, Patrice, to see that there's so much turmoil and unrest and division happening in our country right now. And not everyone gets to see the way that women, regardless of color, are just showing up every day for each other. Like the race does not affect the way we love each other. It doesn't. And it never has. And I wish other people were privy to that.
So true. Okay, now I'm going to really let you go. Thank you, Evelyn.
For real. Yeah. Thank you again.
All right. Was that not good? I'm so excited that we kicked off with Evelyn. So many nuggets there for us as women, for us as moms, and just really getting to the root of maybe where we started some of this behavior with the yo-yo dieting or just really beating ourselves up. And I have my hands in the air raised. I know that I've been there. Watching Evelyn's journey, her clarity, her confidence increase over these last several months has just been such a blessing, such a blessing. And I had to bring back that little snippet, just about the community that we share, the diverse, rich, supportive, encouraging, just brilliant community of women from all types of backgrounds, and just grateful that Evelyn took a chance after that experience she had, that she took a chance, because we've talked to folks in the past that have had coach hurt, but that was a whole nother level. So excited. Thank you, Evelyn, for being here. All things Evelyn will be in the show notes. We're linking to her program, her social media, her new podcast, all the things. So make sure you check the show notes so you can keep in touch with Evelyn. She's incredible and just a joy to be around. And if you're interested in joining Purpose to Platform, the doors are not open, but they will be in December. So get on the wait list. The website is purpose2platform.com. Purpose2platform.com. Get on the wait list. We don't take millions of folks, so make sure that you are ready and willing and able if this is speaking to you when those doors open. For everyone out there who's an entrepreneur, just know this whole week is dedicated to you, sharing your stories and understanding that we all have such a different journey. But when we are really clear on our purpose, we can really prioritize our finances, relationships, and everything else the way that it should go. So I hope you learn a lot this week and that you're encouraged and inspired. Until next time, though, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever chasing money. Talk to you later.